Yay Networks.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. I'm Jenna, and this is my baby daddy.
I'm Francisco.
My lover, my partner, fiance.
Yeah, all of those.
You're all of those things.
Barring everything.
And something a little more damaging.
What is it?
I've been waiting to tell this story on the podcast. I've been saving it. And it involves you. A cheater.
Cheater.
3 consecutive nights in a row, I have had a dream that you've cheated on me. I haven't said anything to you. I told you this when I had a bad dream, but then you were like, huh? And then you ran out the door. You were busy. So I'm glad I've saved it. 3 nights in a row, I've not taken melatonin or magnesium because sometimes that gives you vivid dreams. 3 nights in a row, same person, but I don't know her.
Same person. I'm consistent at least.
Same person.
Oh, but it's better than
you're
just
faithful and you're cheating.
Around.
Faithful and you're cheating. Different places, different things, you know, how dreams are weird and you're kind of like, are we on vacation together? But where are you? What's happening? You know, just kind of different scenarios, different people involved. But I am so bothered. And, you know, in my former life, I was a dream whisperer. And I know what this means. I know what this means because this is a very common dream. People have this sort of dream. So I already know what it means. And I kind of did my Googling this morning to just verify I remembered correctly. And it means if you have a dream specifically about your partner cheating on you, not, you know, with their ex or with someone else, you know, because those have different meanings as well. But if it's just your partner cheating on you with someone, you know, maybe you don't know, it usually means that you feel that you are not getting enough attention from your partner.
Wow.
So I'm feeling insecure about our relationship because I'm not getting enough attention. Wow.
So amazing.
What do you have to say to that?
Well, I think I just need to pay more attention on the attention I give to you.
Pay more attention on the attention you give to me? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I must, but no, I mean, dreams are just incredible, aren't they? Because I'm
so curious about this woman, like 3 nights in a row.
In my waking life, you know, like right now, I'm not sitting here today thinking you don't pay enough attention to me. I mean, I definitely every now and then think that we've gone through that as new parents, that I bitch to you, like, you don't seem to have the bandwidth, you know, that you used to for me in the relationship when I tell you a story or, you know, you seem distracted or I was showing you something, you know, I wanted to show you something important yesterday and you were paying attention. So I don't know why I'm feeling that way because I wouldn't sit here and look at you today. I'm pretty honest about my feelings. I wouldn't say I feel that way necessarily. So it must be something I've pushed down low and it's in my subconscious that you're not paying enough attention to me and you're cheating on me with an unknown blonde. Blonde. Yes, she's blonde because every single person you've ever dated before me is blonde.
Like how high?
I don't remember. Old.
Oh, man.
Old. Come on, man. I know your type.
Oh,
she's even in my dreams.
Babe, that was when I was 20. Like now I'm the age of the older woman I used to date. So now I think it's no old.
Like I always picture if you cheated, she'd be like, you know, pretty, but in that like older, hot way. Like she works out, but she's like had a few kids and like her age is in her hands, you know, like you see it. But she's like pretty. Then again, most guys when they cheat, like it's never up, you know. You're not cheating up. It's just open in there, right?
Yeah.
That seems to be the thing.
I don't know. I don't know what, like if there is a parameter on cheating. Like,
defend yourself. Defend your cheating self. Defend your cheating self from my dream.
I don't know. Like I really think that people just cheat with whatever and whoever they have in front of them. I don't know if they have a type. Like whoever cheats is just like that. There's not a lot of.
Like you're a type that cheats or you're a type that doesn't cheat, you think?
Either or. But no, I don't think there's a type that cheats. I'm just talking about that most of the people that I know that have cheated, they're not like you're right. Like they're not going for that price. Like
a
they're
prize.
not like
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like,
they're just going to get their rocks off.
it's the girl that's like, oh, you're so funny. You're so hot. You're so amazing. I haven't had to deal with your bullshit for years. Ego boost, ego boost. Yeah.
Yeah.
So ladies, think about that every time you're annoyed with your man and you don't laugh at the same joke again. I always think about that. I was like, oh man, he's out. He's out. He's going to find someone that laughs at his joke the first 10 times.
All my dad jokes.
Oh yeah. Your dad jokes are pretty good. I laugh at you. We have fun occasionally.
Now
we
you laugh.
We laugh what were we laughing so hard about?
Now you laugh.
You're so funny. You're so handsome. It's so funny too. So I was talking about this to the girls this morning. They were laughing so hard. Like right before you came in, I was like, I can't wait to tell Fran about this dream about him cheating on me, and I'm gonna be so mad at him. And Danny, I guess, she was working on something. She was half listening, and she goes, it was in your DMs. So she thought like I had gotten a DM from a girl. She goes, and you're here right now? She's like, and this office isn't on fire, and he still has his head. And I'm like, yeah, because like I don't want to like single mom it, like that would be so hard. I'd have to like, but I do, I think it's, my mom and I actually had a totally unrelated, but somewhat related. My mom and I had a really long talk. I've been kind of going through some turmoil a little bit with some like family stuff that I've never really shared publicly. And my mom and I were actually, it's been so nice. My mom and I have always had such a great relationship. I might have to oust you one day, or we just bring Candy on. A lot of people have asked for Candy come on because she hasn't come on the podcast in years. And, I think as women, you definitely understand, maybe as men too, your relationship, if it's, already pretty good with your parents, it really transforms in a way once you have kids. And it's funny because, my mom, it's been so long since she had me, but she's constantly now kind of being reminded of stories from when I was a kid. And so it's so cool, because we spend so much time together now with Remy, and it's so special that she wants to be such a big part of his life, and she loves it. And it's brought us closer together in different ways. Now we're bonding over kind of me being a mom, and it's just so wonderful. And I'm so lucky to have such a great relationship with her. And so yeah, she's constantly kind of telling me stories about when I was young, but we were talking through some stuff, just more serious stuff. I don't know, I'll share at some point, just kind of about my own parents' relationship and kind of the divorce, and subsequently like kind of where my relationship now, like with my dad and stepmom is, and how things don't feel super great. And I've just kind of said to my mom, I was like, wow, I've gotten so much perspective since having a child about relationships, about infidelity, about how hard relationships are, about when you're young and you're like, God, if my boyfriend ever cheats on me, I mean, granted, I still don't know how I would feel if we were presented with that. I mean, I don't think that I would just be like, oh, it's okay, we have a kid together. No, but I do understand why,
You'll be asking, does she babysit?
I do, but I understand why. I actually look at relationships that have kind of weathered storms and they are able to forgive. I actually think forgiving things like that is way harder than just like kicking someone to the curb because of it. I think forgiving and getting through times like that. So I look at, relationships, and, my parents were married for 25 years and ultimately it didn't work out. And, and it's obviously been hard. And anyway, I just think that, I just have such a different perspective now on that sort of thing. And so, yeah, of course, I think once you have a child, you have to consider that. And I think that's really tough, just kind of in the way you handle yourself. And I'm sure a lot of relationships do end up staying together for many years in the beginning, when having a kid is just, it's super hard on the relationship because partners' needs aren't met in different ways. I know that I don't meet certain needs of Fran's, and I know that there are a lot of times that my own needs, our needs are different. It's like the love language thing, that they're not met. And that's probably, it's equally hard for you, I'm sure, in different ways than it is for me. And I think maybe we've just kind of realized like we do love each other, and there's going to be more time once he gets a little bit older to kind of like, I'm sure you kind of reconnect as a couple if you make it through those first couple of years of, raising the kid, that there's ways for you to then kind of like, your love grows and you reconnect. But yeah. I don't know, you have such a different perspective on relationships, right? Once you have a child. Because I hate when I see couples, like that have a bunch of kids together and then they get separated.
I think you start realizing real life.
Yeah.
Like real life comes with ups and downs, and ups
yeah, like
and
it's
downs.
not like super exciting all the time.
No,
right?
and it could be exciting. Nothing can be exciting all the time. Unless you're in jail. I'm pretty sure that's exciting all the time.
What? Okay. No, but yeah, but
that
what you're
keeps
saying
you on your
is
toes. But what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, like life, it's going to be exciting as exciting can be, but it's not a fairy tale anymore. There are heavy responsibilities and heavy consequences, and you have to understand where you're at, and you have to understand your environment. You have to understand what your responsibilities are, and that your needs have to be met primarily by yourself. Like you have to be happy where you are, if you're not in a great place overall, you have to find comfort where you're at.
Yeah.
And you have to find comfort where the situation that you have in your house and everything, because now there is a child that depends on you. Now there's a child that needs to be needs to see a stability where there might not be a stability, but he needs to feel stable, and you have to make sure that you relay that stability. And I feel that I'm in the perfect profession for that, because I'm a real estate agent, and you have to reflect the stability even when there is non-stability.
You're great at it. I think that's also something that's come with age, as much as we joke about being older, you think that you're going to have it a little more figured out. We had a child at 38, and you're like, oh yeah, it should be easier. It's obviously not. You all know that. However, I do think that when you have a baby in your 20s, that's a whole nother curveball. There's still life that you probably want to live, and you kind of have this inner turmoil. But that's something that's been so wonderful. And I don't know if those of you, I know we have a lot of listeners, because you write me a lot, that are pregnant or new parents, or you relive through this. But I think for me, it's been the coolest part about parenthood, on a selfish side of things, of course, is that for me, it's just changed my whole perspective in a way where you don't, before you have kids, you look so forward to these bigger things, right? Like a vacation or a weekend, or just riding on the couch on the weekend, or going somewhere with your friends, or alternatively, you're like, oh, I want to save and buy a house, or I want to do this. You kind of have all these markers in life of success. And I think it's not that I don't feel that way about certain things. Obviously I want to make money and have these things, but my perspective has just changed so much, right? And I don't know if you all in general agree with this, but it's been so nice. Fran and I just feel like a perfect Saturday is literally just waking up feeling healthy. Our child is doing well, and we had a decent night's sleep, and we get to go to I take him at home to look at the Halloween blow-up decorations, and we stand there, and I swear I get so much more joy out of that than I used to get out of some of what I thought were some of the coolest things I ever got to do in my life. And it's just so incredible to get to a place in life where you just need to figure out to be happy where you are. And I think that's something that people have a really hard time with, understandably, with all the kind of wants we have and all the things we see online and in social media, and kind of the way life gets so glamorized, because you can spend your whole life being like, I won't be happy until I have this, or until I get to do this, or, things are a constant struggle. But it's really hard actually to get disciplined to just find a way where you're just happy in the moment. And it is just completely, it took me some time, because I kept feeling just sitting at home in pajamas all day, having stains on my shirt and not doing anything. But we have this child who has so much personality, and who is so happy to just have a granola bar and walk through a store and look at stuff. You know what I mean? And just and that's it, and then play outside with rocks. And then that's what you do all day. And then Fran and I lay in bed, and it's just, and we watch To Catch a Smuggler. And we just feel like we had the best day ever. And it's just so amazing, because it just shows how simple life can really be in a way that's so wonderful.
I'm actually a huge advocate of waiting to have kids.
Yeah, you and I both are.
I think I can, with all confidence, say I have zero FOMO of anything that anybody else could be doing. When I'm with my kid, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that could be best.
And, and that's the difference, I think, though, because, Danny is 10 years younger than me. Danny, who's my friend and who works, she's my marketing director here at Fitish, and really my right hand. I always say, I couldn't do this without her. And she is such a great mom. She's 10 years younger than me. And her and I talk about this a lot, because her and her husband, they were very much like you, very social. They love to party. And she said that's been a challenge because, their group of friends is very split still, being, just 30 years old, like still a bunch of single people that like to go out a lot, so her husband still kind of feels that pull sometimes to like want to go play golf and go out. And because he's 30, I mean, think about you when you were 30, 35 even, you were going out almost every single day and really social. And it would have been really hard to settle down and have a kid. You would have felt like you were missing out on stuff. And so that is truly the one upside in having a child older. We have zero FOMO. I mean, I don't even care to go out to eat on the weekends sometimes.
There is a flip side for sure. Like
we're old.
No, yes, that is the flip side.
Like I'm 100%. Gonna be really old when.
So when you start doing the math,
school. Yeah,
it's like, and I think that's why psychologically I've been in such a health, like
you've been in a health kick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you've been in hell. I go, okay, this is the first I'm hearing of this. So
no, in a
health kick.
Because I want to make sure that I'm there for whenever he's getting married, for whenever he graduates from college, for whenever he has his kid.
I try not
and
to
that's
think
the fear.
I know, and that's why a lot of people tell me to have another kid. But we can't live this way. Tomorrow's not promised. It's so terrifying having a child. And, we don't even know, young people, young parents, horrible things happen to them. And, you don't know. You don't know. So we just have to live and enjoy the time we have because the world's a crazy place. I mean, there's aliens out there, man.
That's crazy. Well, it's not that we didn't think that they were.
I know you and I have been talking about this forever, but now I want to see the images. I want to see the pictures. By the way, if y'all haven't seen, I know we did the show before. I took the team to see Barbie. I did a double header. I've had better ideas than seeing a 2-hour movie followed by an over 3-hour movie last Friday. So I was struggling a bit. Yeah, on a Friday when actually I had a lot of work to do. And I was like, a month ago when I bought these tickets, that was a great idea. But I took the team to see Barbie. And then Fran and I had a break for an hour in there. And I went and had a glass of champagne. And then I went back to the movie theater. And Fran and I saw Oppenheimer in 70 millimeters. So that was a great movie going day. Yeah. Both movies were awesome and, very different. And
Oppenheimer is really good. I do want to watch Barbie at some point. I don't think I have to go to the movies for it.
I really liked it. I was really pleasantly surprised by what it was for those of you that have seen it. And I just don't understand all the criticism and controversy. Oh my God, y'all are freaking out over Barbies and boys and girls. And I don't even know, no one can do anything anymore. It's crazy. But it had such a nice little meaning and it was hilarious. Like the first 30 minutes we were all laughing so hard. So it was a fun outing to take the team to. And yeah, obviously Oppenheimer was just awesome. It was long in my opinion and a little different for me than a lot of the Christopher Nolan movies because I just think Inception, in my opinion, is just one of my favorite. I know people say Interstellar. Interstellar's great, but I love Inception, maybe just the cast and the whole concept of Inception to me, how he does movies that you have to definitely watch again because you're like, what just happened here? This dream and the dream and the dream. And so I just love Inception. So this movie is very different because it's it's like a biography.
Like your dream.
Yeah, no, this is just a biography of a person. So, it's a different style of movie for him. But regardless, it was still a great movie.
Yeah.
It was just not as, layered, in my opinion.
And I think it's something that people don't talk, like history is trying to push that under the rug. And I think it's really good to bring it up and say this happens and this is how it happened. And we're not, nobody's super proud of it. But they're really proud of the fact that they made something so grandiose that now we have electricity out. Like we have all sorts of power and it could be super
Do you know the one thing that I learned in that movie? Do you know when y'all see I'm 39 and I sucked at history. I didn't like it. I didn't really pay attention. I just did not find it interesting for the most part. And I mean, I like World War II movies. That's about it. But I did not realize that Einstein actually lived not that long ago. I thought Albert Einstein lived, you know what I mean, 100 and something years ago. When you think about Albert Einstein, it's oh yeah, he was in the 1800s, right? No, actually not. Him and Oppenheimer were friends. I mean, he was older than Oppenheimer, but he lived in that period of time, so he was old in the 40s, but it's just so funny to me that I didn't realize that until you see that movie, you're oh, that's right. Einstein was alive not that long ago. Yeah, it's just that's something I learned from the movie. I was that's Einstein? I was is he dreaming him? Is he a figure? Oh, they were kind of They kind of work together. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
They were
he was
colleagues.
the predecessor. He was the starter of the whole
But you get it. I mean, I'm just admitting that. I didn't
quantum
know.
world.
It was fun. Yeah, all the things we learn. Oh, man. Well, I'm back to Fran cheating on me. This is something I need to, you know what? I'm actually not going to, I've made a decision, not back to you cheating on me, but kind of talking about some of the family stuff that I've been dealing with. I kind of thought yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some online therapy. I'm gonna go get on BetterHelp and kind of carve out the time to do it there so I can kind of sit here and do it from work. And this has actually, I know we joke about BetterHelp, which is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. We joke about BetterHelp, you know, being for us for couples therapy. Not joke about it, but we always reference that, you know, it's for us to do couples therapy. But I think that you can be feeling fine, right? For many months at a time. And then all of a sudden something kind of throws you off kilter and it's unsettling and you don't feel good about it. And especially when it comes to kind of family issues or just personal and how you're dealing with things. And I've kind of been feeling like I need a little bit of a reset. And BetterHelp is so perfect because I don't have to go search for, you know, okay, what kind of therapy do I need right now? You know, and then find someone in the area. And then, you know, I'm sure I can't put it on my insurance. And then I have to like make the time to go in person and sit there and tell everyone my life story. But BetterHelp just makes it so easy because they're going to match you with a therapist. You can change after that first initial meeting if you're not happy with your therapist because it's definitely kind of a connection and a feeling you get with them. And you can just sit in your office or at home on your computer or on the phone. You don't even have to turn on the camera, so you don't have to get dressed. It really makes you have no excuses for not seeking therapy if you're at a time in your life that you think you need to, you know, get a little reset. Fran and I are such big proponents of therapy, and it's not something that you have to do every week for months on end. You can just do a few sessions, see how you feel, get some tips so you can hopefully start functioning better in your day-to-day life. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Fitish today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Fitish. Someone asked again, can you make a montage of Fran saying 100%? Ever since I brought that up, by the way, I never realized it, which is great.
And that you don't listen to me.
That I don't focus on your crutch words? Because we all have them. I don't. That's terrible. Why would you say I don't listen to you?
Kidding, babe.
Talk more.
I will.
So many people really laughed about that. Like I got a lot of messages going, oh my gosh, I love that someone else brought that up. Because obviously people notice it. Clearly they just don't. Maybe it hasn't been bothersome at this point, but I get it. I'm very, I have a lot of empathy when it comes to crutch words. Well, sure, because after spending years on the radio, I used to, especially in the beginning, would listen back. And I have days too, by the way, where I was on someone else's podcast recently and she had me talking about, she's in her 20s and so she's 25. So it was all about life lessons from my 20s. I'm trying to, you know, instill in the youth. And I found myself saying, that some crutch words here and there, saying I mean, not like all the time, but way too much for me because I would prefer to hardly say it at all. And I think that happens sometimes when you don't feel prepared about what you're talking about or just naturally. It's hard to focus and speak very eloquently and not use crutch words. We all have crutch words. So,
100%.
And you're just going to notice them more when we're speaking all the time. Everyone does it. Really? What's some alternative to 100%?
Absolutely. I can change
Totally.
It. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe something in Spanish.
Seguro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't want you to be insecure. I would never want you to be insecure and have dreams that I'm cheating on you. I don't want you to be insecure in this relationship.
Wait, the things that your dreams and my dreams are completely like.
What are your dreams?
My dreams and hopes in life?
No. What are your dreams at night?
I'm more like, for what I remember, I'm more like weird shit. You know, like I dream of family in a beach with like I don't know, Brad Pitt, and I dream about
what?
And like
what's Brad Pitt doing to you?
Celebrities. No, I'm just talking about like I just
gay
dream
dreams?
of it. No, babe, I'm not gay. You don't have to be worried about me being gay.
I'm in with the Brad Pitt. That's a great threesome for me. I'm fine with that. What?
Cool. So it's good to know. Let me call him. Let me see if he's in. So no, just I dream about crazy, stupid shit. Like I don't have any like. I might have dreamed of you cheating on me, and I like fuck.
You just blow it off like no big deal. Finally, yeah.
I never said finally. I said, like, the thing is that most of the times when I'm dreaming, I know I'm dreaming. So there's nothing that.
Well, I know that I'm dreaming. I knew that I was dreaming.
No, but at the time.
Yeah.
Like, if there were a chance or a time that I've seen you cheating, it's like, it's a dream. You know, like.
Then like, yours wasn't vivid enough because y'all know some of those dreams you wake up and you're like, I mean, I'm just fully watching you have intercourse with another woman. I'm like, okay.
How long? Did you jump in at some point?
No, she was old. I told you.
Would have been younger, you would have jumped in?
If it was Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but I said Brad Pitt just because that's the only celebrity I thought of.
Well, I'm going with that because that's the one you gave me. Throw out another one.
Margot Robbie.
Fine. Yeah, I love her. Okay. She's so great. Cool. Oh, yeah, you watch Barbie and y'all are, I mean, isn't she just, I haven't said to Fran. I mean, she is just like she's just the prettiest thing ever. Yeah, she's so amazing. Yeah, she looks so good in the movie too. Well, I think all the girls just sit there and you're just like, fuck, like she's the perfect Barbie. She's just so beautiful in every way. She seems like a nice person too. No, I got a message from someone that said, hey, Jenna, and I hate when I can't answer y'all's questions completely because she said, I'm 7.5 months pregnant. I love listening to the show, but I'm starting to get worried about having a baby because I don't have any family around. I mean, she has her boyfriend or husband, but she's like, what websites did you use to find childcare? I'm like, well, I am no expert on this. We bought the Moms on Call book because it was recommended by a night nurse. So I would say that sleep schedule, we somewhat followed that whole feeding schedule. That's really, we believe in that whole waking up to feed and all of that because it seemed to work for us. So, you know, I'm only kind of speaking to that. I know other people do things differently successfully, which is fine. But the Moms on Call also has some websites and resources that would recommend you to find childcare, but these Facebook groups really work well. And it just, I know you don't live in the same city from what you wrote me, but that's what we ultimately used was just kind of asking other friends with kids, getting on some of those Facebook groups in the different nicer areas that were adjacent to where we lived. And then
ask the moms that you feel more related to. Like if you see a mom that she has kind of your style of parenting and your style.
Yeah, but if she lives somewhere and she doesn't know anyone, that's where you kind of have to go start, you know.
Craigslist. I'm just kidding. Don't do Craigslist.
No, that's where you find people that come like cut your baby out of you. That's what happens on there. You know about that, right?
I don't.
What?
I don't know if I don't want to know.
Some woman was like trying to buy baby clothes and like went and met up with a woman that was like pregnant and like stole her baby.
Out of her belly?
Out of her belly. This has happened multiple times, by the way. And then she had been telling all of her coworkers and friends and family that she was pregnant. And of course, the baby died. And in one situation, I think the woman died. In another situation,
too dark.
I am
too dark for a Thursday.
Well, don't use Craigslist. Craigslist is a dark, dark place these days.
That was a happy joke.
What?
The use Craigslist. That was like, haha, no, don't use Craigslist. Don't go too dark like this. Baby Reaper.
Who? Do you know me? Hi. Do you know me? I am dark. I am a realist. I am cynical. This is me. Okay? Come on. Come over to this side.
Dark.
But she asked also, like, what about school? Do I need to get on a wait list? I have failed our child. I have failed our family. I have failed our child. He is on a wait list at a school. Fran and I, there's another school that we were this whole time, right? You know, you're pregnant and you're like, we have an in at this Montessori school that's private. We're going to do it. And then it comes down to it. And you go, wow, this school is very expensive and it's only 3 hours a day. And that is just like, and then you have to have childcare or something else. And we just financially are like, this does not make sense right now. And so, yeah, my recommendation would be I should have gotten on a wait list when I was pregnant. Y'all, I couldn't even see my own feet. Like, I couldn't even think that far ahead. I just thought, no big deal. People are crazy. I'll figure it out. No, I have not figured it out. I'm here to tell you, now we're on a wait list, and I don't know.
It's really important because we were oblivious. Like, we didn't know shit from Shinola. Like, we thought that we were living in New York, that we didn't have to go and wait list.
We're not in New York. It's not a 3-year wait list.
Like,
no, it's terrible.
It's the same shit. If you find a school, do your research, ask around. Don't get set on one.
Yeah. Go tour when you're pregnant. You're 7.5 months. It's a good time. Go do it. And I know it sounds crazy. Get on a wait list.
So far out.
I know.
Like it seems like, it's 2 years from now or 18 months or however you want to slice it. It will creep up on you faster than you've ever seen time move. Crazy.
Yeah, but that 6 a.m. to noon every day is real long. It feels real long. But Fran's right. It's funny. Time is just a warp in a weird way. But yeah, that's so accurate. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't know what we're going to do. And unfortunately, we'll find something. I think it's just hard when we both work as much as we do to then also, and someone, it kind of finally dawned on me, because they're like, that's kind of that's another level of parenting, those kinds of tasks that you have to take on, right? It's not just as you're so hands-on, it's kind of this other stuff, it's like the school, like sending the deposit, finding the school, Googling, spending time on the computer, asking around, trying to figure it out. I mean, it takes so much time that when you both work full time, it's so when, and then we parent all weekend. So it's like, when do you find the time?
Book I was reading?
The what?
The book that I was reading before Remy was born. You remember the one that for dads, like the what to expect when you were expecting?
Yeah.
So that's the dad version. And those books give you a really good task list.
Did you do
and
them?
Timeline. I have them. Absurdly fucked most of them up. But it goes from school.
Yeah.
Starting a trust fund for your kids.
Yeah.
Starting,
all the things we're not doing. Yeah.
all of these little things like that are so important, and we just think that we have way more time than we do. Don't fall in that trap. You don't have that much time.
You know what? Okay. Jeez. Scary.
Or the Craigslist lady is gonna come take your baby.
Stop. You're yelling. Being pregnant, actually, this is it, man. Like when you're pregnant, like you actually have some time to do the research and do stuff, and then you don't do it, and then like you don't have any time once you have that baby. So yeah, I dropped the ball on it. I mean, now we know next time around, and it's nothing to the world. It's just that I guess I just didn't think school was a big deal till they were like 3. I was like, well, if we can afford some childcare and have my mom, we're fine until he's 3. Well, we have a kid that would thrive in school right now. We can tell already. I mean, he's in it. He's ready to party. He's ready to make friends. He is learning and talking and
dancing.
I didn't want to tell Fran this. We were at the Little Gym's been so great. He was at the Little Gym the other day, and it's a group of like, I guess his group is 10 to 18 or 19-month-old kids, and so Remy's 17 months old, and he seems bigger than a lot of the kids that are his own age, and he was talking a lot. And I think, you get in an environment and you look around, because Fran and I are very different people, and we always have been when it comes to parenthood. Fran is the person in the relationship that's in line to get a coffee, and he turns to the stranger beside him and he's like, do you want to see 100 photos of my child? My child's brilliant. He's so smart. He's so great, and I'm like, not that way at all. I think he's average. I think he's cute. I think he's fine. But I just, how everyone's like, our kid's special, this woman. And I didn't want to tell Fran this story because I didn't want it to go to his head. This woman's so nice. I've seen her in a couple classes. She has twins that are actually a month older than Remy. And she turned and she goes, how old is Remy? Is he 2? And I'm like, no, he's 16. He is 16 months, 17 months. She goes, is he advanced? And I was like, I don't know. It's funny you say that. I was like, don't let my partner hear you say that. She goes, because he does. He's doing a lot, I guess, and he's talking a lot. It's so funny. And Danny says that, what?
He's advanced.
He's advanced. And so I was like, I didn't want to say it to Fran because Fran's going to be like, see, I told you he's special. But I was like, how everyone feels that way about their kid?
We're raising
I was like, don't
Sheldon.
let my husband hear you say that. Yeah. I just call you that, by the way, because it's easier. We're raising young Sheldon. I don't want to raise a young Sheldon. Young Sheldon has challenges. He is not a young Sheldon.
He's a social butterfly, young Sheldon.
I think Remy's just really verbal, and he's tall, so it makes him feel bigger, And that's why people are like, wait, is a 2-year-old in this class that's supposed to be for like 10 to 18-month-old kids? But yeah, it finally dawned on me to
He's
sit
like
down
the
the other
fifth
day.
grader playing with the third graders in soccer. Like it's like that kid.
Danny's kid's 13 months old now, I guess. But she says, Jenna, I think Remy's like a little advanced. And so now it's the second person to say that to me. So I sat down the other day and I made notes in my phone. This is actually, I'm irritated with myself even. Are y'all irritated with me? I am irritated telling this story because this is stupid. No one cares about this. But I made notes in my phone because it finally dawned on me to be like, is he? Like, what should he be doing? Because there's other things I feel like he doesn't do, that other kids do. Like, he doesn't have as many signs as other kids, with his hands. A lot of kids learn good sign language early on, and he's not necessarily pointing at things saying, I want this, and I don't know if he should be at this age. But anyway, I made a list of all the words he's saying, and I looked up, like, at 17 months, how many words should a kid have? And I never try to get caught up in this because kids walk and talk at different times, and some kids are like, my kid was potty trained at 10 months old. Like, what are you talking about, And so I'm like, what are you? It's like training a cat to use the toilet, and I think that's great. I just try to not get caught up in it because I think it can make parents feel really bad if your kid isn't walking yet or talking yet. And I just don't think it matters because everyone does things at their own time. But yeah, Remy has like 35 words, and I think the average at this age is like 10 to 15. So I guess he's slightly advanced. But you and I talk to him so much, and we're constantly. That's the one thing I've been really good about. We read to him, we say words to him. He helps me make coffee, and listen to me. I talk so fucking much. I can't even stop myself, And I think I just talk to him so much. I think that's the only reason he has so many words. So I don't think he's special. I think we just talk a lot.
No, I do think that he's a smart kid. I don't think he's like a Einstein guy. But
Einstein.
I really think that
I think he's just really verbal.
He is just very smart, and he's been raised in a highly adult environment. I think that's also a thing for him. Like, he is around adults 90% of the time.
And that was me when I was little, and my mom said I was the same way because I was around my dad and Fran, her and my dad and their adult friends, and didn't have any other siblings. And it's so funny, we went to a neighbor's party the other day, and one of our neighbors who I love, she has 2 kids, and she said that the boy's older. I forget the kids' ages. I think they're 3 and like 6 or 7. And she said the 7-year-old, she feels he's starting to revert actually and get more immature because he's always playing with his 3-year-old sister. And she goes, last week, he started baby talking to me. And I was like, why are you doing that? He goes, well, that's how his little sister talks and how they talk to little sister. And she goes, it's really interesting because, I felt like with him at first when it was just parents before we had another baby, he was maturing more quickly. And now when his playmate, they play together all the time, is 4 years younger than him, he's starting to be more immature with the way he plays. And so we're actually, thinking that being back in school is going to be a good thing. Like, she's noticed it over the summer happening. Yeah, I think it all has to do with their surroundings.
But I think that's very important that a child is a child.
Yeah.
That a child, like, even though it sounds amazing that a kid is more mature and acts like an adult, a child needs to be a child and needs to be surrounded by childs and need to be childlike. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a temptation that we all fall, especially when he's surrounded by kids. So I'm very excited when he's surrounded by adults. I'm very excited that whenever we are able to find him school.
Remy walked around that whole gym class the other day, and he'll walk up to a kid and look at me, and he's like, baby. He points at all the babies. But I'm like, Remy, you're a baby. He goes up to a kid and he points and he looks at me, he goes, baby. And I'm like, well, y'all are all kind of the same age, but baby.
I was telling someone at that class that it reminds me to my grandmother when she was 97. She used to say, oh, look at that. She's really old. Like that. My friend, she's really old, and she was like 85.
Like, Remy, it was making the other parents laugh. He's like, baby. And I'm like, Remy, you're also kind of a baby. I mean, they're all the same age almost. It's so funny. Oh, yeah. Gym class, by the way, has just been so fun. I think it's so true what people say. Newborns are easy. It's when they start to become toddlers, it's hard. And man, if that's not the truth, like he is so full of energy and I'm so damn tired. And so like I went to the trampoline park the other day with him and y'all, like I cannot hang at a trampoline park. Like I was so nauseous and he just is running around watching the bigger boys like fly against the walls. And it's so funny just trying to find activities for him to do. But I think my favorite thing has been that little gym. It's so fun for them to run around and explore.
That little gym is fun. That Play Street Museum has been great.
Yeah.
I took him to that safari run like 40 minutes from the house.
You're such a good dad, I have to say, Fran, because like Fran and I alternate days of the week where we relieve our childcare, and it's hard because we have to go at like 2:30, so we're kind of still in the middle of working, and so but we've figured it out, and so Fran did the other day, and it was great because I was working on something really important up here, so around 4:30 I call him, and Fran's FaceTiming me. He's in the middle of some new child place, like with Remy running around and I've never seen before. So he's driven like half an hour in the other direction to take him somewhere. And anyway, I know I say that to you all the time. Like, I feel that I'm pretty effusive with my compliments with you about being a great dad, but like, you're so great. You take him to do so many fun things and it's really hard. I'm even intimidated sometimes still to like, for instance, like, you will not find me taking Remy to a restaurant alone right now. Like I took him with my mom yesterday. I don't enjoy it. I can't even eat, because I know he's going to be over the high chair and you're so good. I can take him to Target and I can take him to do other things, but restaurant, forget about it. I just know he's going to melt down and I'm going to have to leave and it's so much responsibility.
I think we have a dance that we like. We've learned, and things mutate from time to time. Like he change it. Like
we do that together. Like when we go to the store together, because you can chase him around the store. I can actually get the things we need.
No, but for sure. But when I take him to eat like by myself, I think we understand where we're at.
You sit down and order immediately.
Everything. Yeah. Order like from food to check to box to go.
Yeah.
Have everything ready for when he melts down. But this safari run place, if you
This is in Plano, Texas.
Willing to take a workout with your child, go there.
Because it's kind of a climbing slide thing.
If your kid is 3 or above that you can just let him run like the wind, great. Because
you can sit down.
There's a bunch of couches that dads are like just on their phones.
Yeah.
Like there's some dads reading.
Amazing. Like right? You're looking forward to that. You're like, I can't wait to sit and read a book while he runs around.
Like I was running around behind, and Remy has no fears.
You were out of breath, yeah.
I was like going up in the jungle gym, like going like chasing him. He wanted to go in the deepest, highest, like how do you call the slide?
Oh.
And I put him on my lap and said, "Okay, we're going." And of course, like you're like stopping at like sticking on it, but he just loved it. But it was a workout. Like it was running, it was climbing, it was like carrying him from here to there. Like then he wants to play with the big kids.
Yeah, that's gonna be dangerous. This is the thing, Fran. I tell you, I feel like you're getting a little dense every day. Yesterday I get home and my mom was there and Remy has like a huge red spot on his forehead. And I went, oh, fuck. Because the first thing I think is like, at first I'm like, what happened? But I'm pretty cool with it as long as he's okay. And then the second thing I think about is, fuck, Fran. Fran, like every time I see Remy with an injury, like a scratch, I know Fran, like I can't cover it up. Fran's going to be like, what happened? And so I was like, Mom, what happened? She's like, well, Miss Marie had the fridge open and now he's gotten so tall that he's like, he runs around the kitchen and I guess the fridge doors were open and he just went like bam into the fridge and had this huge red welt. And so I didn't say anything. And at some point, we took him out to eat. You came and met us at the restaurant. You took him to the grocery store. My mom and I went home and Fran calls me and he's like, what happened to his head? And I was like, yeah, so the thing about that is, and I'm like, so the thing is, I'm okay with it. Like, I would actually prefer him to fuck around and find out, as I've said in the past. Like, if you're running around the kitchen and the fridge is open, you gotta learn your head height. Like, you gotta learn that you don't have clearance. And he's only gonna learn by bonking. And as long as he's not bonking unconscious, like he's gonna learn. And like it's just every day I feel like there's a story I just don't want to tell Fran. It's such a role reversal because I feel like it's probably like husbands things happen and the wives are like, why does he have a bump on his head? And it's just the other way around. I'm like, yes, so he was playing with rocks. He cut his finger. I was letting him play with rocks outside. Like all he wants to do is play with the rocks in the backyard. He just stands there and he's like, rock, rock, rock. I'm like, bug, bug, bug. And I'm like, rocks and bugs. Okay, we were playing with rocks and bugs because he's a dirty little boy. He's going to get hurt. And my hope is that he continues to get hurt in mild ways, like bruises and bumps and scrapes and scratches, and not like broken bones and the fucking eye. Oh, I just ate the microphone. The eye that he still has a scar on his eye. Trust me, I have to live with that. And I feel awful, even though I didn't even do anything. You know, that was so awful when that happened. And I just cringe, you know, because I just know he is so wild that this is going to happen again. Oh, little boys, man. I wasn't a little boy.
Nerve-wracking.
And I just know we're going to have one of those little boys that's wild. I mean, could have been Brad Pitt for you, man. I'm just glad that you're never going to live that down. I'm just glad like that I just know, I'm sorry, I know that we're going to have a little boy that's wild, like they say. You know, Danny told me her little brother was in the ER all the time, just falling and, you know, bumps and breaking bones and just wild. Oh,
no, but that also was because he was the fifth kid. Like those parents were tired as fuck. Like, dude, you just do you. Like Remy's in a little different situation.
Yeah, I've gotten on second and third kid TikTok, or second kid don't have a third kid TikTok. So I'm sorry if you have 3 or more kids. I'm sure it's amazing, but I feel like the common comment with a lot of people with that many kids, they'll say, going to the third, like, if I could do it again. And it's so great to like admit that, like, probably wouldn't have done it. You know, it's like a different car scenario and you're outnumbered and it's a whole thing. I mean, I'm sure as the kids get older, it's quite amazing to have a big family, of course. But yeah, I mean, we can barely even wrap our head around a second one. So yeah, we're still not there yet at all, right?
No.
Why are you making that face? Why are you so quick to say no?
Because we have a bandwidth of energy, you know, like we have to be self-aware.
I love that right now with one, as I'm sure those of you with one can also attest, or those of you with 2 can remember fondly, like at night, you know, Fran loves to put him to bed at night and get up with him in the morning. I mean, he's great. So I'd say most nights of the week, you do put him down. I have to like fight for it every now and then. I'm like, I want to do it tonight, but you're great with it. And it's like I get that me time for, you know, the 30, 45 minutes that it takes for you to put him down. And so, you know, if you have 2 kids, it's like kind of forget about it, right? They're on different schedules. So I'd be doing one, you're doing the other.
It's just the perfect number.
1.
It's just like it works, you know?
Yeah.
Not a number. You have 2 for 1.
2 for 1. Yeah. 2 people for 1 to
2
tag
people
team
for
it.
1.
Yeah, because even on a Saturday, we like take 30-minute hour increments, you know, or like we'll both be together, but like someone can do this while I can do this. Yeah, it's great.
And I love like
sometimes we need 3 on 1. We need my mom to come over just so I'm like, Fran, can you please help me hang curtains or do something, you know, so we can have the help.
Yeah, so I see my friends that I have 2, and
we're also just probably really weak. We sound really weak to parents that have 2, 3, and 4 kids. That we're
and the things that we both have full-time jobs. We both have like, it's one is just perfect, at least for now. You know, like.
Well, then I guess I'll save my news for the next podcast.
Save it. Okay, I'm gone. If there were to be a second, I'll be very excited and happy.
I probably would, just so y'all know, if I did get pregnant, I probably would just tell Fran on the podcast, because why not? That's kind of a fun moment to do it for everyone, right?
Yeah.
People always do these cute reveals, and I'd be like, y'all, hey, everyone, I'm pregnant again. Yeah. No, I'm not. Well, I thought I was for a second.
I never even imagined the amount of love I was about to
That's your biggest concern, that you couldn't love another one?
And I'm pretty sure I will. And I would. I'm pretty sure like it just grows. Like your love bandwidth, I think it's unlimited.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we figure it out.
We'll have the open conversation when he turns 2. That's what we agreed on. We'll say
Sounds
let's talk. Let's have a family meeting when he's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what he thinks.
Not long from now. It'll be overnight.
Yeah, it's just crazy that it's like I feel like we're approaching the end of the year. It's crazy.
It's July, man.
I know, but it's the end of July, you know?
It's almost Halloween. Can't wait. All right. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Bye-bye.